Hi everyone. Just about to head out, and the weather turned really sour pretty fast. I'll show you around, but really, if you want a nice view, I think you should look at the French video, like the first 30 seconds of it, and you'll see what it's like in the sunshine. But here it goes anyway. So yeah, I'm in Slovenia. Finally made it to Slovenia. My head's in the way. What else? Yeah, I'll tell you a bit more exactly where I am. And yeah, there's this cool looking hill slash mountain here. If you want to see the top, like I said, watch the French video. Everything's going well. So last time I made a video was the morning in Trieste, so that's yesterday morning. And I was just about to go on a sort of morning journey of Trieste. So I went to the castle. It was opened. Managed to get in. It was quite interesting. So 3 things about the castle. Interesting facts. The first thing is that it was never used in war. Like nothing ever happened combat-wise there. The second thing is that it changed hands a lot. So it went from like being from the Venetians to the Austrians, to the Venetians, to the Austrians, a lot of back and forth. And lastly, which I think is the most interesting fact, it kind of had like 3 corners, and each corner had to have like a defensive mechanism, like a defensive style, because you can't just leave a corner without anything. So usually there's a tower or some kind of thing. And all 3 of the corners have a different way of protecting, of defense, because they were made in 3 different periods. So the first one was kind of like a circle around, I guess just so that like you could see if somebody was attacking the wall. If you're on the wall, you can't necessarily see straight down. So if you have a circle on the corner, then the person could be like on the circle and then see what was going on. The second was, it was the weirdest one. It was kind of like different esplanades, but like on different levels and on angles, and they said it would help with the cannonballs, that they would roll off rather than hit a direct target. And the last one, which was my favorite, or not my favorite, but the one I'm most familiar with, was kind of like the arrowhead formation on the wall, and I guess it's used for cannons more. So they can aim cannons, like if somebody again is attacking the wall, then you can aim a cannon towards your wall without, and then somebody could defend that cannon. I don't know, it just works. So that was the castle. After the castle, I continued to make my way, so I made my way down. Not much interesting. I got my lunch, and then when I was getting my lunch, it started raining pretty hard. So I stopped by a cafe, and Lucia told me that pastries were pretty good. So I went in and I asked, hey, so or a bakery I should say, and I say, what's good? And they gave me this sort of cake, so that was pretty good. Not going to complain. And then I made it back to the town hall. Took a picture with Hobbs, and then I went back to the hostel to cook the dinner. Or just to eat. I just wanted a place, because I had bought from a supermarket, so I needed just a place to sit down and eat where it was dry. So went there, ate, and then around 1 o'clock it stopped raining, and I saw that it was supposed to rain again in the afternoon, but not for a while. So I looked on my map, and to go to Ljubljana, it's about 100 kilometers, but there's a lot of up and down, so it said about 7 hours. So I thought I'd do it in 2 days. I can see the rain coming, that's not good. So I decided to cut it in half, or just about half, and do part of it yesterday, part of it today. But the cave, there was a cave that the person at the hostel talked about, and then 2 people who were staying at the hostel talked about. And so it seemed worthwhile, so I wanted to do the cave. And it was sort of on the way, so I stopped by the cave. The only problem is I got there, so first of all, to get there, it's straight uphill. It was mad. For about 45 minutes, I walked it. It was 30 minutes, 45 minutes walking with my bike and like really pushing. So it's not like it was just like, oh, well, you know, once you're walking, it's fine. Like it's still a lot of effort. And like my shoulders and my arms would get sore, just because you can't walk with it next to you, because like you don't have any strength that way, so you had to like to push it forward and then like put your back into it, and I probably looked really silly, but it was really a lot of work. So that was that. I can start feeling raindrops. Ugh. And that was yeah, that was getting to the cave. Well, once in the cave, so I finally got there around 2:10. Well, not around, yeah, 2:10. And they're like, oh, the 2 o'clock tour just left, and the 3 o'clock tour is the next one. So I had to wait a good hour. So I was like, that's an hour I could have been biking, but you know, it is what it is. So I stood around, I read the things there was to read, and at the end, I finally made it to the 3 o'clock tour, and it was really good. Just brilliant. Really, I think so 3 things about the cave. One is that it's in the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest sort of room chamber of a cave, and it is absolutely enormous. The second thing about the cave is that it was discovered by a guy, an Austrian man, who at the time, I guess Trieste was Austrian, and he wanted to find a new river to feed Trieste in fresh water, and he knew about underground rivers, and he thought there would be one there. And so he went into the cave, and once he got to the bottom, he saw there was no water. And the kind of joke is that he was just about, I think, a couple of million years too late, because the river had gone even deeper underground. And the last thing is, oh yeah, the stalagmites are the ones that go up. That's not the fact. The fact is that they have kind of a palm tree trunk kind of shape. And why do they have this palm tree trunk kind of shape? It's for the ones that are, so stalagmites are made by water droplets that drop and drop and drop and drop and leave a little bit each time, just a little bit each time. The thing is, when it drops from really close by, it just makes like a tiny little, yeah, tiny little tower. But if it drops, like this cave was, like I said, huge. If it drops from really high up, the water drops down and splashes. And with the splashes, it creates this kind of palm tree formation. So that was the cave, and there was only about 8 of us, including the tour guide. So it was a huge room with just 8 people. And oh right, and then there was you might see it on the photos. There's these 2 tubes coming from the ceiling, and that was to get scientific information. So they've been there for quite a while, and it's to get scientific information about tides and gravity. And so that, like, those pendulums, there's 2 of them, and they can feel like the traction of the moon. And they can feel things that, like, or slight earthquakes or things like that. They can feel a lot just because they're so high up and nothing else is disturbing them. There's no air, there's nothing else. So that was kind of neat. So yeah, there was just 8 of us, and no, really good tour. 500 steps down, 500 steps back up. Yeah, overall really recommended. Grotta Gigante. It's called, and the town is called the same thing, so that was easy to find. And then I got on my bike, so it was around 4 o'clock. I looked at the campsites I looked at Airbnb, and there was no Airbnb in this area, because this is about halfway. And then I looked at hostels, and hostels is only for, I guess, bigger cities. And then by chance, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna look up camping, and I found one campsite here. And so I was like, you know what, if it's closed, it's closed, and I'll try to figure something out, but I'm gonna give it a chance. So I go on my bike, and yeah, the Slovenia border is really close, so that was kind of fun to, like, get myself going. Was that, yeah, I was already in Slovenia. And what I've noticed about Slovenia so far is that the drivers are really nice towards bikers. Like, I haven't had, like, every time they pass me, usually, like, I try to stay really on the edge of the road, so I don't, like, even if they don't really respect me, I can get away with it. But so far in Slovenia, they've given me like a whole lane. Like, they go to the other lane to pass me, or a lot of them do. And even the ones that don't, they still give me a lot of space. So I feel quite safe here. And it's not like small dingy roads. Like it's pretty, not big roads, but it's like one lane each way. But still, like they go pretty fast. But no, I feel really safe. And right, there was one part I was really irritated. So the morning is the only time I've walked, but there were more climbs. One of them was right. So I was on this sort of big road, and my app tells me, okay, you need to leave this road now. And it's always been a steady climb on this road. And so I look at the exit and it's a downhill. So I'm like, oh, perfect. Like I'm finally going downhill and should be okay. So I go downhill and then my app says, okay, you need to turn again, like back towards the road. And it's a uphill climb, but way steeper than the actual road was. So I zoom out and turns out like my app just told me to get out just to get back on. And so it was completely worthless. So all the joy I had of going downhill just made me go back uphill again. So I was not too happy about that one. And yeah, so that was when I still didn't get up. Walked, but I still like it was a lot of strain. And yeah, so far Slovenia has been very rural, which is lovely, like lots of trees and pastures and cows and sheep. So I've been loving it so far. That was that. And then right, the next one was there was a big hill, but it was not a big road anymore. It was a very, very small road, and it was gravel, but like big stone gravels. So that was kind of hard because with all the weight I have on my bike and on the back of my bike, and since it's uphill, when there's a bigger stone that I hit, my bike kind of like does a wheelie, or it tries to do a wheelie, so I have to like move forward so it doesn't, because otherwise I would fall over. So that was slightly scary. And then once I got to the top, going down was scary too, just because like you are going quite fast and you can't see where the big rocks are, so you're always like slipping and sliding, and yeah, I didn't have fun on that. And then I was supposed to sort of follow a highway, but I couldn't see the road, so like my app was telling me you have to go straight, and straight wise I couldn't see much because there was a sort of paved surface, I get, but it was on an incline, and it was not really paved, it was like a bunch of stones, flat stones that were like on an incline, and then right next to it there was grass, and on the other side there was a big fence. And so I just didn't get, I was like, this is where I'm supposed to go on? So at the beginning I was trying to go on the grass, but there was some stones hidden in the grass, so that got quite irritating. So then I tried to go on the incline, and that ended up being okay. Like once you get to it, it's okay. And but yeah, definitely not a road. I don't know what my app was thinking. And then I got here, the person said, nope, we were still open, this is great. So I pitched my tent, and then she's like, well, you know, the shower outside is a bit cold. If you want, there's a shower inside you can use. So I used the shower inside, and I stayed way longer than I should have, just because it was great. And then I really bundled up because it was already quite cold in the evening. So I bundled up just so that, yeah, I wouldn't be cold. And yeah, I wasn't cold tonight, so that was good. And it's starting to rain, so I'm gonna cut this video soon. But yeah, today I'm supposed to get to Ljubljana, which is the capital of Slovenia, and it says it's gonna take me 4 hours, but I've been so behind this morning. I woke up around 8, which is quite normal, but it's 10:30 right now, just because I've been making videos, eating breakfast, packing up. I don't know where the time went. It's not like I've had anything to do. But yeah, so I'm gonna start making my way there. I'm trying to do maybe 2 hours in the morning until 12:30, find somewhere to eat, and 2 hours in the afternoon. That could be okay, and get there around 3, maybe 4. So yeah, that's the plan. And I'm almost done with my book, the French book that I started when I lost everything. So I'm almost done with it, so I'm quite happy. It's turned out to be a pretty good book. I have about 30 pages left. I tried to finish it yesterday with my headlamp in my tent, but I got quite tired, so I had to stop. All right. Well, I'm gonna start today in the rain, but like I said, if you look at the French video, it's quite in the sunshine, so you know that would be nice. If it could come back, I would be very much appreciated. Here, if you want to see the gray sky. But at least I don't have to wear sunscreen, so you know, good and bad. All right, that's it for me. Bye.